were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic. Oh, I can now hear the sailors cry, smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. And where that foghorn blows, I will be coming home. Yeah, when the foghorn blows, I wanna hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificently we will fold into the mystic. When that foghorn blows, you know I will be coming home. And when that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it. I don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And together we will fold into the mystic. Come on, girl.
Good morning. Before we commence, could you please ensure mobiles are on silent or turned off, please? I fall asleep in the full and certain hope that my slumber shall not be broken, and that though I be all forgetting, yet shall I not be all forgotten, but continue that life in the thoughts and deeds of those I have loved. Samuel Butler. Today you gather to farewell Tracey Lee Jarrett and to celebrate her life. Tracey was born in Townsville on the 21st of June 1960 and passed away at home on the 29th of March 2026, now free from all pain. We gather also to offer comfort and support to her loving family, a loving wife to Tony, dearly loved mother and mother-in-law of Emily and Mark, Liz and Marcus, loved daughter of Maud and Bill Roberts, loved sister and sister-in-law of Dean and Katrina, adored and adoring grandmother of Henry, much loved aunt of Travis, Hannah and Matthew, extended families and friends. A loving wife, the best mum, a loving daughter and friend, caring and giving. These words described Tracey to me as I spoke with her daughters, Emily and Liz, earlier this week. Tracey's strength and resilience throughout these last few years also gave her family the strength they needed throughout this difficult time. Tracey was most respected, as is shown by your attendance here today. She will be so sadly missed by all who knew and loved her. please know that my thoughts are with you all here today. Your wife, your mother, is a true embodiment of strength, a strength that should never be underestimated. From carrying the weight of motherhood to juggling multiple roles and responsibilities, a mother shows up every day with unwavering determination. Their ability to handle challenges and overcome obstacles is truly remarkable. A mother holds the family together, nurturing each member with love and care. She faces difficulties head-on, never backing down from the storms of life. Her strength is not only physical, but also emotional. Losing a wife, a mother, is a pain that cannot be described in words. It is incredibly difficult to move on from the memory of losing the woman who sacrificed happiness in her own life so that you could have a better one. A wife, a mother's love is truly irreplaceable. The death of a mother is the first sorrow wept without her. At this time, on behalf of Tracey's family, may I thank her GP, Dr. Edie, and Dr. Vasey, oncologist, and his team at Wesley Hospital, Brisbane, for the care and compassion shown to Tracey and her family throughout this difficult journey. When someone is gone, the world does not stop. Time continues, people carry on, seasons change. But for those who are left behind, everything shifts. The places once filled with their laughter now echo with absence. The moments once shared now feel incomplete. It is not just their absence that is mourned, it is the loss of what was, the loss of what could have been. Yet even in the depths of grief, there is resilience. There is a quiet strength in carrying memories, in learning how to live in a world that feels different. Grief does not mean being stuck in the moment. It means honouring what was lost while still moving forward. It is proof that love does not vanish, it transforms. So let grief be, let it exist without shame. It is not a weakness, it is love continuing beyond loss. Some may not understand, but those who do know that grief is not a sign of refusing to move on. It is a testament to a love that will never die. I shall now call on close friend Carolyn Mitchell for the reading of the 23rd Psalm. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, darling. It's in bigger font if you want.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Thank you, Carolyn. As you know, Tracey was a teacher for many years. Many of her colleagues are here today. And I'm sure that as a role model, she inspired her students to dream, to work, and to reach, gaining their attention with her kindness, every day planting a seed of curiosity and motivation to know and to grow and succeed, helping her students to fulfill their potential. I'm also sure there are many who are thankful to Tracey for her dedication as a teacher. Throughout our lives, there will be times when we will experience heartbreaking sorrow, when we will grieve, and when we may be tested to our limits. However, such difficulties allow us to change for the better, to rebuild our lives, and to become something different from what we were, better than what we were, more understanding than what we were, more empathetic than what we were, with stronger testimonies than we had before. Grief is not a moment. It is not something that fades simply because time moves forward. It lingers, reshapes, and becomes a quiet companion to those who have lost someone they love. The world may expect grief to have an expiration date, to be something that eventually disappears. But the truth is, loss does not just take a person. It takes pieces of the life that once existed, rewriting the very foundation of who you are. Grief is not something to be outrun, nor is it something to be measured in days, months, or years. It is woven into the fabric of the soul, a reflection of the depth of love that was once given and received. Grief never ends, but it changes. It is a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. Again, close friend Anne Wilson, would you join me for the poem, As Long as We Can Dream? Bigger font if you want.
That's good. As long as we can dream, as long as we can think, as long as we have memory, we will love you. As long as we have eyes to see and ears to hear and lips to speak, we will love you. As long as we have a heart to feel, a soul stirring within us, an imagination to hold you, we will love you. As long as there is time, as long as there is love, and as long as we have breath to speak your name, we will love you.
Thank you, Thank you, Anne. When introducing the eulogy, I often speak of the poem, The Dash, which speaks of the small dash between the birth and death of a person. This dash can represent few or many years. Tracey's dash encompassed 65 years, and I shall now call on her daughters, Emily and Elizabeth, and a close friend, Sue Johnston, to share family memories with us today. Thank you. Tissues, I'll just grab my water, excuse me.
My mother taught my sister and I everything we know about speech and drama. She had a passion for it. When it came time to write this, I was flooded with memories of us standing in the kitchen at Gwendoben, with Mum coaching us as we practiced our poems for Eisteddfod or rehearsed a speech for Rostrum. Mum was a bright and shining light, the kind that's almost impossible to put into words. But today, we're going to try, and I hope we can make her proud. For those of you who don't know me, I am Emily, Tracey's oldest daughter. We are absolutely honoured at the amount of people who have gathered here today to celebrate the life of my mum, Tracey Jarrett. My mum was a kind and bubbly person, a social little butterfly, and my little Snapchat queen. She enjoyed connecting with people and had a warmth about her that made everyone feel like they belong. Tracey Lee Roberts was born at Townsville General Hospital on the 21st of June 1960. She was the first child to Bill and Maud Roberts. According to my nana, she was the most beautiful baby, weighing 10 pounds with black curly hair, believe it or not. 2 years later, in 1962, her brother Dean was born and life was good at Charles Street. Dean and Tracey shared a close bond, and like most brothers and sisters, there were the occasional fights, one in particular involving a dropped weight, a sore toe, and a trip to the emergency room. But no matter what, they were always close. Every year, the family went on holidays to places like Burrow Creek, the Snowy Mountains, and Sydney. Trips they all cherished together. Nana recalls booking tickets for an elephant ride at Taronga Zoo. When Dean saw how big the elephant was, he refused to get on. But no worries, Tracey happily rode the elephant twice. She was a brave and outgoing little girl, and nothing seemed to scare her. She was always willing to try anything and give it a go. At Mundingborough Primary School, she always tried her best, and according to Nana, brought home some outstanding report cards. In 1973, Tracey began high school at St. Anne's Girls' School. From the very first day, she and Wendy became firm friends, bonding over their shared love of sherbet, Darryl Braithwaite, and their regular lunchtime tributes to ABBA, dancing on desks to Mamma Mia. Strong friendships were formed through grades 8 to 10, with Tracey instigating many of the crazy antics played on fellow students, unsuspecting teachers, but I'm told never the nuns. By grade 11, Tracey's friendship group had grown into a close-knit circle. Tracey, Wendy, Helen, Robin, Julie, Joanne, Jackie, and Loretta. According to the girls, my mum was renowned for her wicked sense of humour, her outrageous tall stories, her iconic laugh, and her role as the mastermind behind plenty of mischief. The girls would often go on trips aboard Julie's dad's boat. And my mum, who wasn't a fan of the boating or the great outdoors, still went along. But in true Tracey style, fashion always came first. Not the most practical or boat-appropriate choices, but beautiful floral dresses were always worn and a must. I'm sure it comes as no surprise that Mum finished school with excellent grades, awards, and a qualified speech and drama teacher by 17. She went on to study education at JCU and even taught students privately on the weekends. During this time, Nana had every second Friday off, and the two would get dressed up, head out to lunch, go shopping, and enjoy some girl time together. At the end of university, Mum was posted to Kingaroy. Some of her friends made her promise not to fall in love with a cowboy and returned home to Townsville in due time. However, fate had other plans, and little did they know a loyal Dee's tragic from inner city Melbourne was about to sweep her off her feet. For those of you who haven't had the absolute pleasure of hearing my dad tell this story on the deck after a few red wines, let me fill you in. In 1984, Tracey and Tony happened to be at the same laundromat in Kingaroy. Dad was wearing his new shirt he just bought on a recent trip to Bali. When he leaned against the wall, his shirt stuck to the wall. He looked up and saw a wet paint sign. He became convinced his shirt was ruined. He turned and asked Mum, "Does my shirt have any paint on it?" Mum smiled and said, "It does. Everywhere. It's completely ruined." Tones, never the one to overreact in a situation, stormed out of the laundromat to the phone box to call the proprietor and give him an earful, only to catch his reflection in the window and realised there was no paint on his shirt at all. He sheepishly returned into the laundromat and saw Mum sitting there with a big smirk on her face, completely chuffed with her efforts to stir this man. From there, they kept crossing paths, and after a few B&S balls, and yes, a few, Dad struck out a couple of times, that's when something truly wonderful began to grow. Even when Mum was transferred to Mundubbera 2 hours away, they made it work. Mum drove back to Kingaroy twice a week for 2 years. It was during those drives, Mum would often drive past an old run-down Queenslander on Albert Street. Over time, she fell in love and eventually showed Dad. It wasn't much to look at. Black painted ceilings, a dark room filled with a million holes, and green carpet. But Mum could see its potential. She could see the home and life she wanted to build here. 1987 was a busy year. They bought their first home, were married at St. James Cathedral in Townsville. The young woman perhaps drove all the way from Townsville in 1983, who had never left home, soon began to find her way. Before long, she was making friends and building a community around her. Mum found a second family and forged lifelong friendships. Mum always taught us to surround ourselves with people who lift us up, inspire us, and make life richer. Mum and Dad loved with their whole hearts, and our home was always full, buzzing with people and surprise pop-ins. It's a true testament to our parents that so many of those friendships have lasted, and even to this day, we're still surrounded by those same people and their children who we now call family. Mum spent the next few years turning that old house into a home, wandering through antique shops, attending furniture auctions, carefully piecing together the beautiful place we know today as Gwendoben.
I first met Tracey in 1986, before I moved permanently to Kingaroy. It was at the Carol Lee Hotel, probably Friday afternoon teacher drinks, as was the want in those days. We crossed paths at a couple of teacher gatherings in 86, but it was in 1987, when I started work at Anango High, that the fun really began. I was put in the same staff room as Tracey, and eventually we had desks next to each other. We taught the same subjects, were in the same sports house, and essentially we came to do nearly everything together. Timekeepers at swimming and athletics carnivals, recorders at the cross country. Everything was more fun if I was with Tracey. In the early days, one colleague used to sometimes get us confused. One day he said to Tracey, "You know, Sue, there was a time when I used to get you and Tracey mixed up." We laughed about that for a long time. In more recent times, not long before I retired, Tracey overheard a little Year 7 boy say to his mate, "Have you seen Mrs. Johnston today? She's gone blonde, overnight." Tracey couldn't wait to tell me. Tracey as a colleague was absolutely the best, and many teachers over the years, including me, really looked to her as the model of what excellent teaching looked like. To see Tracey teach was to witness a masterclass that balanced skill, knowledge, control, kindness and humour. If students had Mrs. Jarrett on their timetable, they knew they were in for a good year. The Anango High crew saw many examples of Tracey's wicked humour over the years. She loved a good prank and always had a credible April Fool's joke. She caught me out for years. We eventually learned when Tracey imparted a good story to assume first that it was a well-crafted lie. Tracey's sense of humour made work fun for all of us, but she was also the consummate professional. She was always immaculately groomed and beautifully dressed, well prepared, organised, and all her work was always done on time, always. Tracey was an outstanding public speaking coach who trained our public speakers and debaters, as well as organising that aspect of the school program for decades. Her contribution was even publicly recognised when she received an Education Queensland Australia Day Award for services to education and public speaking. Tracey also became involved in QCS marking and did that for many years, right up until the system changed. In her usual manner, she became so good at it that she became a trainer for writing task markers. Tracey had an outstanding career in teaching and eventually became the head of the English department and did stints as acting deputy principal. Excuse me, I just need a drink of water. Sorry for the break in transmission. Where was I? She was a rare person who was loved and respected by everyone, staff and students alike. Trace and I not only worked together for 30 odd years, but we also drove together for probably 20 of them. During those 25-minute trips between Kingaroy and Anango, we would chat, solve the problems of the world, and debrief after particularly challenging days at work. Those Camrys of Tracey's could certainly tell some stories. As the years went on, our lives became increasingly intertwined. We were pregnant with our first children at the same time, and Emily and Hannah were born in 1990, 2 weeks apart. Our second children, Nick and Elizabeth, were born at opposite ends of 1993, but were in the same school year. We were dancing mums at Miss Maureen's and swimming club families together. We had a lot of parenting discussions on our drives, like, what are we going to do about that Year 10 after party? And what will we do about schoolies? We always agreed on a plan and knew that at least our kids couldn't say, well, everyone else is, because we knew at least one other kid wasn't. Our children grew up like siblings, and even after they left home, they remained friends with no involvement from us. In 2014, Hannah, and then not long after, Emily, went to live in London for 2 years. For Christmas in 2015, we decided to go to London to spend it with the girls. We had a fantastic time, and it remains one of our best Christmases. On Christmas Day, we crammed into the Johnstons' one-bedroom flat in Fulham, not far from where Em and Trace were staying. Trace and Em joined Murray, Nick, Hannah and I, and all the Kingaroy kids who were away from home, Erin, Maddie, Rachel and Sonny. We wore Christmas-themed jumpers, dresses and beanies. We tried gammon and turducken, chilled our drinks on the back step, and played presidents and assholes with giant playing cards. Having Tracey in my life has been an amazing gift. She and Tony hosted the best AFL tipping party each year, and there was lots of singing, dancing, and tambourine, castanet and maraca playing in the Jarrett kitchen. Tracey was always the life of the party, with only a few West Coast coolers and the occasional vodka cruiser under her belt. Tracey was a great lover of shopping, and we had many a good afternoon browsing in Trendsetter or at Burton's Shoes. Tracey was a very generous friend, and she loved to give gifts. The car boot was always chock-a-block with presents on the last day of school each year. Sorry, brief break again. Our retirement lives remain connected in part through our little book club and our decision to learn Mahjong. We had a talented teacher in Tracey Reinbott, complete with lesson plan. Yep, you can't take the teacher out of us. The retirees, the two Traceys, Deb Jackson, Sharon Lofty, myself, and later Yvonne Toohey, became the Mahjong girls. Our playing style was somewhat unorthodox, and Tracey was hilarious, often feigning confusion or frustration at her hand one round and then declaring Mahjong the next. We had a great time and lots of laughs on these days, plenty of sledging, and it distracted Tracey from her worries for a while. I think one of the finest tributes to any person is the values and qualities of their children. Emily and Elizabeth are proof of this, and a credit to Tracey and Tony. The girls have been pillars of strength for both their parents, and Tracey was always immensely proud of all her family. Gifted, wise, witty, generous, and a friend to so many, Tracey was a force of nature. We all now have a big Tracey-shaped hole in our lives, but our lives are so much richer for her having been part of them. Damn it. Rest easy, my beautiful friend.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz and I'm Tracey's youngest daughter. In 2021, after a trip to Melbourne to visit Em and Mark, Mum received the news that she was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer. Although it was completely devastating, I remember how incredibly strong Mum was for all of us, and despite the odds, she showed enormous strength to keep fighting. Having a loved one living with cancer means facing the constant fear of the unknown. You never know which memory will be your last, whether it's a holiday, birthday, Christmas, or wedding. It can be an exhausting emotional battle. I will forever be grateful to my mum that she fought to the very end, through countless surgeries, chemo, and immunotherapy, giving us so many more precious moments with her. I share this to express my deep gratitude and admiration for Mum, and for the time and milestones she fought so hard to make possible for all of us. While my husband Marcus was living with my parents, he recalls a time when Mum was going through an extremely tough round of chemo. Every day he would come home, she was always cheerful, asking him about his day, showing that in even some of her darkest days, she would always be the light. We did not know this at the time, that she was initially given 3 months. She courageously, however, went on to give us nearly 5 more years. In these years, she lived life to the fullest. She was able to see both Em and I get married, see us buy our first homes. She witnessed her nephew marry their lovely wives, her niece's engagement. We went on family holidays, more shopping trips, hosted AFL parties, more Christmases filled with Christmas light drives, birthdays, and the most precious gift of all, to see her become a grandma to one of her greatest joys in her life, Henry. Although Mum was always there for the big moments, it was the little moments that meant just as much, the ones we probably don't have photos of. If you know Tress, you'll understand that simply being in her presence was enough. A quiet day on the couch, watching Midsummer Murders for the millionth time, or The Great British Sewing Bee, chatting about life, sharing a family meal, or gathering for a cheese circle, these are the moments we'll truly miss. When I asked Mum if she was scared, through tears she said no. How could I feel anything other than blessed, she told me. I've lived a good life. I have my girls and their partners who I know love my girls. I have a loyal husband, my family, both my parents, all of my friends, and now my grandson. I've gone through life untouched by grief, and for that I'm truly lucky. And to our Mum, you're going to be so deeply missed in our lives. And although I won't miss the all-day shopping trips, I know my sister will. I will miss your impeccable sense of style that never changed. Even on the hardest days, you always looked so beautiful. I'll miss you singing the wrong lyrics to every song, and the jingles of your bracelet that meant I always knew you were near before I even saw you. I'll miss watching football with you, your outrageously big Santa collection, and the way you made every holiday feel so magical. But most of all, I will miss you just being our Mum. I know it's cliche to say, but we were truly blessed to have the best mother in the world, and I can speak for my father that she was the love of his life. You were so loving, kind, nurturing, and extremely protective of your girls. You made our world brighter by just being in it. We will love you and miss you, but you will always be with us because you had so much influence on who we are today. And you will forever be in our hearts. Thank you.
Beautiful tributes. Thank you, guys. Would anyone else care to share a special memory of Tracey with us here today? So we shall pause now. I'm sorry, we do have someone. Thank you. My apologies.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mark Freeman. I was a colleague of Tracey's for 20-odd years, and I just want to acknowledge her contribution to education in the South Burnett over that time. She did an outstanding job. I just wanted to share 2 stories with you, both inappropriate. The first one was that we had Tracey and Tony over for a barbecue one night. As most of you are aware, she loved a large steak often, and we had some other friends over with us as well. And we were sitting there having our barbecue and steak, and Tony was giving us some advice. So Tony had turned 60 or was 60 plus, and his advice was, and I was expecting some financial advice or something along those lines. He said, when you turn 60, never walk past a toilet and never waste an erection. Now, I've taken on that advice, even though I'm not 60. But it was the look on Tracey's face when actually Tony said that was priceless, and I thought she was actually going to choke on her steak. But and the second very quick story was, it's interesting. Tracey was the best public speaking coach in the world. However, she did not enjoy public speaking, and I can remember at one stage at Nanango High, and many of her colleagues are here today. And I was very keen for her to be an acting deputy principal. I think John may be going on leave, and I was very keen for her to be acting deputy principal. And I said, I'm not taking no for an answer. And she said, look, I'll do the job so long as I don't have to public speak. I said, fine, you've got the job. Anyway, I was at a cluster meeting one afternoon for 2 or 3 hours, and I arrived back to work, and I walked down the corridor, and here's Tracey in her office, sort of slouched back in her chair, all the colour out of her face. I said, I've had a great afternoon, Trace, how was yours? Oh, I've had the worst afternoon. This one student I just could do nothing with. And probably in this day and age, we would have called the police for this one particular person. Anyway, so following through consequences, 20-day suspensions, proposals to exclude, etc., I did say to Tracey, my gift to you is that I'm going to exclude this person. Obviously, it wasn't a gift to Tracey. It was an appropriate thing to do. So this was on the Friday, and that was my last day at Nanango High School, and I was starting at Kingaroy High on the following Monday. So I contact the family to say, yes, we're excluding this young person from Nanango High School, and Tracey was sort of, oh, thank goodness for that, Mark. Who did I have to enrol at Kingaroy High School on Monday morning? So, and Tracey has never let me forget that. Never let me forget that. So she was a fantastic colleague. You couldn't believe one word she said, but she was an absolutely fantastic colleague, and we will certainly miss her. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Do you remember that story, Tony? You'll never forget it now, anyway. Louise Woods, would you please join me for the poem For a Loved One? Thank you, darling.
For a Loved One by Pam Nelson. Some people light up the rooms with their laughter. Others can brighten the world with a smile. Many will make you feel happy by sitting nearby for a while. Some folk can cheer up a cold day with just a few words or a glance. Others can make things seem better if you just give them half a chance. But there are those whose whole life is a blessing, not just a moment, a smile or a word. They make all around them feel special, no person ignored or unheard. They give all they have and then give more while helping somebody get through. It's not about thanks or for mention, it's something that's in them, they do. And when it's time that they sadly must leave us, we grieve, but also we smile. We give thanks that our lives were connected and were tucked in their hearts for a while.
Now, Mark, you threw me totally out of sequence with your story. So we shall now go back and we shall pause and reflect on Tracey's life as we share in visual memories with her family.
Let me inside you, into your room. I've heard it's lined with the things you don't show. Lay me beside you, down on the floor. I've been your lover from the womb to the tomb. I dress as your daughter when the moon becomes round. You be my mother when everything's gone. And she will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same. Keep beckoning to me from behind that closed door. The maiden, the mother, and the crone that's grown old. I hear your voice coming out of that hole. I listen to you and I want some more. I listen to you and I want some more. She will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same. She will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same. Let me inside you, into your room. I've heard it's lined with the things you don't show. Lay me beside you, down on the floor. I've been your lover from the womb to the tomb. I dress as your daughter when the moon becomes round. You be my mother when everything's gone. And she will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same. She will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same. And she will always carry on. Something is lost, something is found. They will keep on speaking her name. Some things change, some stay the same.
When the sun beats down, melts the tar on the roof, yeah. And his shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Oh no! a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, on a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. La, 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 la. Oh, yeah.
Say goodbye, my own true lover, as we sing a lover's song. How it breaks my heart to leave you. Now the carnival is gone. High above, the dawn is waking, and my tears are falling rain. For the carnival is over, we may never meet again. Like a drum, my heart was beating, and your kiss was sweet as wine. But the joys of love are fleeting, for Pierrot and Columbine. Now the harbor light is calling. This will be our last goodbye. Though the carnival is over, I will love you till I die. Like a drum, my heart was beating, and your kiss was sweet as wine. But the joys of love are fleeting, for Pierrot and Columbine. Now the harbor light is calling. This will be our last goodbye. Though the carnival is over, I will love you till I die. Though the carnival is over, I will love you till I
What an incredible smile. Just beautiful, just lit up the room, didn't it? As you gather as family and friends to say your final farewell to Tracey, remember that you never lose the people you love, even to death. They continue to participate in every act, every thought, and every decision you make. Tracey's life has left an indelible imprint on your lives and in your memories. Your lives have been infinitely enriched by having known Tracey and by having shared in her love. Though someday we all have to part with those we love, they are not lost. We are always enriched for having loved and having been loved, and in this way love transcends all things, even death. Her laughter was better than birds in the morning. Her smile turned the edge of the wind. Her memory disarms death and charms the surly grave. Early she went to bed, too early we saw her light put out. Yet we could not grieve more than a little while, for she lives in the earth around us. She laughs from the sky. Cecil Day Lewis. A strong woman is one who feels deeply and loves fiercely. Her tears flow just as abundantly as her laughter. She's not afraid to be afraid. A strong woman is both soft and powerful. A strong woman is equally visionary and decisive. She is able to hope when things look hopeless. She is both practical and spiritual. A strong woman in her essence is a gift to the world. To Tracey's family, on behalf of those present here today, may I offer our sincere condolences on your loss. May the many memories shared over the years give you comfort in times of sadness. Tracey's family would like to thank you for attending her celebration of life here today and for your offers of comfort and support. Should you wish to share further memories and light refreshments, they will be awake at the family home, Gwendovan, in Kingaroy at the conclusion of the service. If you have not signed the memorial book, please do so before leaving here today. When you hear the rustling of leaves, the gentle breaking of waves on the shore, the soft breeze in the treetops, know that this will be Tracey's spirit passing by, caressing your cheek, touching your hand. She's watching over those she loved and who have loved her. Remember her smile, her gentleness, her laughter. Tracey has not gone forever. Her spirit will always be there to guide you. Tracey's work here on earth is complete, but you know that as you journey through the days and weeks ahead without her, she will never leave you. She lives forever within your hearts and in your memories. Remember Tracey as a living presence as her memory travels with you every day, guiding and supporting you. From Khalil Gibran, the noontide is upon us, and our half-waking has turned to fuller days, and we must part. If in the twilight of memory we should meet once more, we shall speak again together, and you shall sing to me a deeper song. Sadly, it is time to say farewell to Tracey Lee Jarrett. Our love goes with Tracey, and we now entrust her spirit to the arms of loved ones gone before, and the unknown paths beyond death, the longed-for grace and peace. May the peace that surpasses all understanding rest upon each heart here today. May the love her family has shared with Tracey continue to guide their steps and soften their sorrows. As we leave this place, may we carry forward Tracey's light in kindness, in compassion, and in joy. Go now in peace, and may grace walk beside you always. Would those who are able please be upstanding as Tracey takes her final journey, and would pallbearers please wait for instruction. To all, a safe journey home.